When I come in here, he goes over and I go 1, 2, in, move back. This one. Will be nice. Move again.
What is a good man? I used to say I don't know, because I don't think I did know. And that's what my whole journey of discovery has been. I love engaging with people, love helping people on the journey of healing, which is what I'm on myself as well. Self-discovery, self-mastery, and what better way to do that than jiu-jitsu? Jiu-jitsu to me means flow state. I live in flow state, and I'm blessed to be able to do it. I actually consider it a privilege. And the way that you flow in jiu-jitsu is part of my meditation, because it's still sort of in a tranquil element of now. You can literally focus on, okay, this person's trying to attack now. If you don't move in the sort of right motion, if you don't defend in the sort of right way, you don't attack at the right time, you're literally getting submitted. And that submission can be like either a broken arm or whatever position they put you in. So it's a state of focus. My name is Chris, depending on how you know me, Coach Chris, Yampower Otokito, 41 years old, father of 3, and yeah, that's me. I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner, I'll say seasonal competitor, not enough, and coach. I feel the lifestyle that I used to live before martial arts, before me being on a journey of self-discovery, I was doing almost like the hamster wheel of you go to work, you come back, and then it's like a repetitive cycle, and there's not really any time to actually stop and be in the now. And I'm grateful that within that jiu-jitsu, I have that experience with my family as well. So my children train and my ladies train occasionally. And it allows us to be playful with each other. Most mornings I'm waking up with my children trying to rear naked choke or leg lock in the old way kind of thing, and it's just that element of it. So it means overall it's like flow state.
I'm smart, I'm still in the man.
And it flows with family, with relationships for me, with business for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, grateful.
And I will go into my high of the week. And my high of the week, ironically, is me plugging back into the Matrix with you guys. It is allowing myself.
Trying to grab some people with you.
It is allowing myself to actually be judged and validated. I was promoted in jiu-jitsu. I was promoted to a brown belt, and completely unexpected. That's so strange because it's probably the first time that I've actually not thought about being graded or being better or thinking to myself, oh, I hope I get it. Every grading that I've had, I've been like, I hope it's needed. I hope I get the stripe. I hope I get figured. It's the first time I can think, or I can know that I feel that I didn't have any expectation of, oh, it might be me today. My low of the week is my dad. I'm at that stage where I'm seeing him trying to hang on to an old version of himself. By just having a battle, a mental and emotional and a spiritual battle with himself. And as much as I can understand what he's going through, because I've gone through a similar thing when I had my own breakdown many years ago before I resigned from that bank. I don't know, I can't say I've had that same experience of being the head of a whole house, all the children grown. So yeah, that's my low of the week, just experiencing that.
Talk to a Brother is a network for men plus 21 that just want a safe space to be themselves. I've spent a lot of my years being an introverted extrovert and always being able to communicate with people, build relationships, sabotage relationships, lose relationships and whatnot. Those are some of the lowest points in my life, and I always remember feeling like alone, isolated. The world's on my shoulders, the world's against me. So many emotions of anxiety. And when I reflect on a lot of the reasons why I wasn't able to sustain relationships, or I wasn't able to engage or be the good friend or good brother or good family member, it's times when I've not been able to communicate what's actually inside, and I've been afraid.
I remember being at hospital when my dad was dying, and I went in there and it was mad. He was like, "So, Doc, it's not my dad, it's the fact that my daughter and sorry, I can't even talk. It's nothing to do with my dad." I had to reflect on that and work it out. It's actually happiness, sadness, that I'm meant to die. I'm gonna have to. So it's not even my dad that, when you're talking, it's not my dad's death, it's the fact that I'm gonna die and I'm gonna miss Sam. That's it. It's like,
It's good, bro.
Tom and myself met just before lockdown, and we started doing some services together, some martial arts coaching with women and children and families, and a few of the, some work with asylum seekers, and just a few different projects. And then lockdown hit, Tom and myself started our food bank. And we started delivering food and toiletries to anybody vulnerable in the sort of Croydon, Kingston and Brixton area. And we used to have just a lot of conversations, and we were always like, bro, people, like, why don't we have more of these conversations with more guys and that? And we joked about it so much that eventually we stopped. We're like, do you know what, let's just make a podcast. It's a good platform, we can record the stuff, people can watch it, say whatever they want, we don't really care, we're not after it, validation, but at least put it out there. We started doing that, and then a few people were watching, a few people would come on as guests, and we started getting great feedback, and I'll get a lot of people calling, myself and Tom as well, just to have conversations. I look at my life and I feel I'm extremely blessed that I'm alive, in all honesty. By regards to where I have been mentally and emotionally and even spiritually, I've vibrated on a lot of very low frequencies. And had I had a lot more guidance from men in particular, because I'm a man myself, who cannot fix my problems for me, but at least show me some of the tools that I can actually use to work through these scenarios. Talk to a brother is part of those tools. That there's other men around us, and there's men from all walks of life, from Muslim to Jewish to Christian, the Buddhist. There's such a variety of brothers in there, and it's a space where we're respectful, contrary to the typical social media. Everything's an argument. Everything's like a competition. Oh, my opinion's better than yours, or my experience is worse than yours, and it's completely the opposite.
My dad was someone, who passed away when I was 12. Didn't look after himself, had poor health, smoker, didn't drink because we didn't drink. I look at my brothers. My brother had a heart attack 2 years ago, only 44 years old. He was in ICU, again, poor health. I think for me is taking the learning from that that gives me the drive and the motivation to live as clean as possible. But when I was younger, you had kids with their dads taking them to cricket, doing this and doing that, and you're looking around and you're thinking, do you know what, I don't have that figure. So that's my drive, that's my motivation, and I've sacrificed a lot of the stuff that, that is going to give me a poor quality of life, I guess, in order for me to give to have that longevity in life. Ultimately, I want my kids to be able to see. I want to see my kids grow. I want to see their children. I want to be a grandparent. Look, I can step outside today, and I could be gone, right?
yeah.
But whatever I can do to prevent, I will do.
When my daughter was born, it's all around the same thing. That's when I changed my group of friends. Now I don't drink, I don't smoke. But before she was born, I was, probably out 3, 4, 5 nights a week sometimes. But then I just sacrificed, but I stopped a lot of things and just went, that's not for me. And because you're content, I've got a fear, my own fear, that she'll still be young, and if I'm not here. And that's where I've got to get motivated. That's my motivation, actually, to do that.
told myself, I've made it clear from the beginning that we created this platform because we wanted something different. In the society and day and age that we're in now, I think toxic masculinity, that sort of coined word, is forcing a lot of men to regress. I was always trying to make myself clear that, look, I'm not a qualified counselor, I'm not a qualified therapist, but I don't mind talking, and I'm vulnerable, I'm honest. I've had a breakdown myself and had to take a complete shift in lifestyle. A lot of times we operate in the vibration of, this is bad, this is wrong, I hate this, my relationship, my children, my partner, and we stay there. And I've been guilty of blaming, being a victim for so long. And then that whole element of accountability came into it. It's like, oh snap, it's actually me. So yeah, talk to my brother derived from that, and then the feedback that we're getting is just beautiful. Told myself, decided every single week to give an open space where men can come every Wednesday, join conversations with us, have topics of conversations about a lot of the stigmas and taboos in our community. And yeah, it's just an opportunity to learn.
I've had to literally have ego deaths with versions of my character that I feel were unhealthy, unreflective, unaccountable. All the versions of myself that I didn't know I didn't want to be until, again, having my children and then seeing alternative options and just seeing the impression that I can have on them. I think the challenge with that is that ego, that version of yourself that I have built up. A lot of people from that past that are still in my life now understandably struggle to let that version of me go.
Being a parent allowed me to appreciate a lot more of, especially what my parents went through coming to the UK. And my dad's had to go through the language barriers, everything else, so still got his African accent and all. And in an hostile environment, like black men in a lot of industries could be treated like shit. A lot of children I used to hang around with didn't have their dads around. So a lot of my friends helped me to see the value in having both parents around. My dad's also shown me and given me the opportunity to take the best practices from being in his relationships, 42 years now with my mum, being in a long-term relationship. And I'm so grateful because I also see a lot of, again, brothers that have had hostile relationships, really, really hostile relationships with their dads, or resent their dad. My dad wasn't there, he just said he was a coward, he beat my mum up, and just different things I've seen a lot of other men do. And when I speak to my dad, especially now, I can just feel his heart. I don't think I've ever thought he was a bad person, but yeah, ultimately I do strongly feel my dad's a good man. A lot of us for whatever reason, put on the front that we know what we're doing. And I think me working with, because I do a lot of work with children, like mentoring at that in schools as well, like working with children, you see a lot of children have the same behaviors and characteristics as adults. It's just that the adults have gone so long without having the guidance or the mentorship or the coaching to be like, actually, do you know what? Even though this is how you've done this all this time, it doesn't mean that's right. Even though this is all you've seen in your generations, or your parents do, or your siblings, or your community, or your culture, or your faith or religion do, it doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't mean that we can't also adapt and change and evolve to the next stage of doing that. And for me, any man who's capable and who's not afraid or ashamed to operate in love, unconditional love, for me, that's what makes a good man. And there's elements of integrity, elements of honor. There's so much complexity, so many different levels, from going through adolescence to growing, somebody who's reinvented themselves and open to sort of learn from previous mistakes, open to not pass judgment on other people or project and take accountability for your own evolution. That's a man.